You say that schools can optimise the success of their improvement agendas by planning a strategy for collaborating with families, parents and carers, as well as other stakeholders in the school. What are some of the potential benefits of involving the wider community in this way?
Rebecca, this is a really great question. One context in which students can show high ability outcomes is in the classroom. The student can also show high-level outcomes in a range of other contexts outside of the classroom. Now, we know that many famous scientists, many musicians, many sports people, many artists gained or first thought of what led to them being seen as talented while they were at school. James Watt, playing with his mother's kettle. A lot of students while at school have creative ideas that won't necessarily be seen in the classroom. Parents and members of the community can see instances of gifted learning and outcomes that are high-level, unique possibilities that the students' teachers will never see. They won't see them in the classroom. Communication with the student's family and with relevant community members who've interacted with the student is critical for putting together a total gifted learning profile. The information that comes from these sources can impact directly on how teachers go about differentiating and enriching the educational provision. It can lead to the school compiling a more comprehensive understanding of how the child learns. Now, these observations are really important for those students who are twice exceptional, for those students who are gifted but who don't show their gifted knowledge in the classroom. When I hear about what a twice exceptional child has achieved outside of the classroom in all sorts of ways, I can then start to get an insight into how I might modify my teaching, how I might go about scaffolding that child to think in other ways about the learning situation. And I'd just like to give you an example of a Year 10 student who I had contact with. This student was in an alternative setting. When I met him, he told me he was hopeless at literacy, hopeless at numeracy, wasn't successful at all, and he didn't know what he would be doing, with his life. He was 16, and it hit me, when he said this. It then emerged that 2 or 3 weeks earlier, another student in this setting had brought along a chainsaw in pieces. He hadn't seen the chainsaw before, but he had it assembled and working in 10 minutes.
Wow.
I've got a chainsaw. I've got a PhD. I would have loved that knowledge. Now, there are many students who don't have the opportunity to do that. Now, when I heard that, I couldn't help but think, if I were teaching him in a Year 9 science class, if I were teaching him about buoyancy, and I had him, or demonstrate to the rest of the students how you can investigate Archimedes' principle by trying to push objects that float down. If an object is sinking, what do you do to keep it up? The whole notion. He in our discussion, he had a real understanding of forces, action forces that drove the chain on the chainsaw. What a missed opportunity, and what an inappropriate message to send. So I am committed very much to the idea that the community, that the parents can provide me with very useful information about how these students learn. We need to remember as well that for a lot of high ability students, the classroom situation can be stressful, but the students don't show their stress in the classroom, they show it at home. They become angry at home, they become aggressive, they withdraw, they sob. The teacher doesn't see that. the parents do. And it is so important that I collect information from the parents along those lines.